Now we turn to the latest on the severe flooding in the South. This morning, much of the focus is on Memphis, where the Mississippi River is about to hit its highest level since 1937. CBS News correspondent Randall Pinkston is in Memphis. And Randall, is the city ready for what could end up being the worst flooding that they've seen in history?
Well, good morning, Rebecca. And yes, local officials as well as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers say the flood walls, the levees, the catch basins are all in place, and they do believe they will hold. Memphis Mayor A.J. Wharton Jr. gave us an aerial tour of the threat that the city faces and the structures that have been put in place to protect it. It's a multi-billion-dollar system of flood walls, catch basins, floodgates that's been built over the past 7 decades. With this flood of the century, that system will face its biggest test yet.
Randall, so much of the outcome in flood situations is that evacuations run smoothly. People do leave their homes when they're told to. What's the status of the evacuations at this point?
Well, for the past week, there have been voluntary evacuations throughout Memphis. We visited a trailer park that was one of the first to go under about 8 days ago. About 200 people there were forced to get out when rising waters from a tributary of the Mississippi River, the Mississippi being some 4 miles away, they had to flee. In another neighborhood, a church and homes are already underwater, and the people there are saying that they plan to rebuild, but they may have to move to higher ground. In general, compliance in Memphis has been pretty good so far. Officials, however, are continuing to warn people in low-lying areas to be on the alert for rising water.
Yeah, and Randall, you bring up the point about the tributaries. In many respects, they're a bigger concern here than the Mississippi River itself. What are you hearing about preparations for the downstream issues that Memphis may face?
Well, that tributary problem is certainly an issue in the state of Mississippi, just south of Memphis. Already there's been chaos, financial and otherwise. The casinos in Tunica, Mississippi have all closed. That's dropped tax revenues for the state and local governments. And between the Yazoo River and the Mississippi River, people have already been evacuated. Some roads have been closed off. And farther downstream, the Army Corps of Engineers keeping a close watch on the levees between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. They've already opened the Bonnie Carré spillway north of New Orleans to relieve some of the pressure from the Mississippi. And they may have to open another spillway north of Baton Rouge. Of course, that would wipe out a lot of farmland, but they'll do it if they have to relieve the pressure from the rising Mississippi. Rebecca?
CBS's Randall Pinkston in Memphis. Thank you.